functional resumes are defining the function that you had at a job. So Christy, would you like to explain who should use a functional resume?
No one. No, I'm kidding.
I agree.
That says first it should be used very rarely. So my preference, even when I'm trying to, help someone that's a career changer or someone that's been out of the workforce for a while, is still to try to present it in a chronological or combination format, which we're going to get to. So very rarely do I use a purely functional resume, but it can be appropriate. Again, resumes, almost everyone that comes to me with wanting help on their resume has some kind of challenge they're trying to address. So a functional resume can address some of those challenges. If, one of the things you've mentioned a couple of times is if someone had work experience from 20 years ago that they want, that's the direction they want to move in again, how can they bring that up on their resume? A functional resume, where they're highlighting their transferable skills could be a way to bring some of that, up higher on their resume. But with a functional resume, you list like skill headings, whether it's like maybe, administrative or finance, accounting, whatever the skills might be, marketing, and then you still want to try to put bullet points with accomplishments that showcase, again, how your experience, relates to those transferable skills on your resume, and then down below you would probably just list, pure, simple chronology, name of the company, title, dates. But I prefer and always try to at least do a combination resume.
All right, so let's take a look quickly at these examples. We have Joe Doer and Jerry Job, who have functional resumes here. Who wants to talk about these examples?
Did one of us send them, or did these come from your website?
These came from our website, so
okay.
They just have some functions here.
So, Joe Doer, I like that because, it's this would be appropriate for someone that hasn't had a lot of work experience. They, and they have volunteer experience. It can show, kind of showcase your skills. So, like, say, for someone who has been, stay-at-home mom, you can list some of their skills. But even with that, I tend to present it chronologically, so I might not be the best person to speak to them. But I think these are very nicely done. And draw attention to the transferable skills that they have and might want to use in their future job.
That's good. That's a good point, because transferable skills are sometimes very important, especially for people who are coming back into the workplace.
I agree with the statement that was made earlier that functional resumes should not be used unless it's a last resort, but there is one field where it can be used, it's used quite a bit, and that is for the IT professionals, those who work on consulting contracts that might be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months at a time, and those guys are all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Then it becomes not so important where they were, but just what all their tech skills are.
It's a good point. So we have Carol Miner's resume here, and it talks about influencing decisions and effective communication, some achievements, and their education. It does have a date here by education, but it's within the past 20 years. So is that okay to do if your education is within the past 20 years?
Yes, it can actually be an advantage.
Depending upon what style.
Well, no, having the date on your education, if it's more recent, will show that the person is younger. And if youth is to your advantage, you might as well promote it.
So, yeah, so it's always a judgment call, and you have to look at, what is the employer looking for. If they say they're looking for someone with 3 to 5 years experience, you don't want to promote in your professional summary that you have over 20 years of experience. You want to, and then I would leave the date off of the, education. I would probably leave off some of the earlier work experience if it's possible. Someone that's been 20 years with one company, that's more difficult to do. But, kind of That's where, again, the customizing comes in. You know, if they're looking for someone that has tenure in the field, then yes, by all means, put the date on the education.
All right. Thank you.